the Longhorn Loop. Our current project is the Longhorn Loop, and first we had to identify the problem. And our problem was that we needed space for mountain biking for PE, and we needed it for community needs so that they could have a place to exercise. And we needed it for safety for the cross-country team so that they weren't crossing roads to practice. And so we got on Google Earth and made maps of where we thought the Longhorn Loop would go. And then we kind of combined them and made what we have now as a Longhorn Loop.
So when we were making this map, it also went along with our math, because we were doing scaling in math, which is making something that's small big, or making something that's big small. And we had a tiny map of Rock River, and we measured it, and then we multiplied it by like 6.5, something like that. And we put it on the big map, and then that was our result.
And so now it was a vision, and so we made a 3D model to make it come more alive, and we just kept adding to it, and now it is in the library. And throughout this process, we learned how to Google Map, we learned how to scale a model, and then we learned how to blueprint read, like how to read a blueprint, and we learned creating it. And now it is a reality. Cross country is now able to utilize the course for their practice. Even our second grader got into action and ran the trail. And tomorrow we will have our chipped asphalt delivered so that we are hoping to get it spread out by spring. And then we will have a ribbon cutting in the fall and host our first cross country meet.
In Words and Wisdom, we were learning about the seasons. And we would pick one season to make a diorama out of. I picked winter because I like to play in the snow and build snowmen. It shows winter because there's snow falling and there's lots of snow on the ground. And I wrote about my diorama, and then I'll read it to you. How do changes in winter impact people, plants, and animals? People go sledding and make snowmen and go ice fishing. In winter, people also go ice skating, sledding, and ski. The days are shorter and darker. In the winter, so plants don't grow. In winter, bears hibernate. Jackrabbits change to white in the winter. People, plants, and animals all change during the winter.
For PBL, we chose a Wyoming bird that we wanted to study about. We chose our Wyoming bird and learned about it. Then we got poster boards and wrote about facts and had pictures for them. And then we made a nest for the bird that we chose from materials outside, and we presented them to our mom. Another thing we did is we did a design reclamation with the second and third graders, and we would take a place that had garbage and turn it into a place that would have a use for animals and plants and humans. We had an expert on our smartboard, and he talked about what he had done, and we showed him our work. Yeah.
So for the 6th grade Wit and Wisdom last year, we were learning about narrating the unknown. That was our unit. So we first read this book called Blood on the River, which is a book about the first society in America, which was Jamestown, which ended up failing and turning into a ghost town. So we decided to make a project that went along with that. That also went along with our community, which was Wyoming. So Wyoming has one of the most ghost towns in America, I'm pretty sure. So they gave us 3 counties, and we got to choose a ghost town from each county and make a poster about it. And so that was really fun. And then for our science PhD, we were combined with the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And we were learning about Earth's features. And so we decided to learn more about national parks. And as we did this, we decided to make a travel brochure for each student. Well, each student decided to make a travel brochure. So they would make a travel brochure about their favorite national park, or just one of the national parks that they liked. And we ended up with a really good product from each one. We learned how to use Canva along the way too, so that was pretty cool. And for example, mine was Arches National Park in Utah, and it goes along with Earth's features because it has a lot of rock formations like arches. And so that was just one explanation, that was just one, yeah.
This is the 4th grade Wit and Wisdom Module 3, Overcoming Obstacles. So this project was about basically surviving in the wilderness. So we're all given random coordinates. You know, it could be anywhere in the world, like Australia or West Virginia or the Himalayas or something like that. And you'd have to basically study that place, find the animals you could eat, the water, like the fresh water source you could drink from, materials that you could build huts and stuff to live in with your group. And so basically we made a diorama basically showing a picture of the place that we studied. You know, we built huts, and it was it's pretty cool.
Part of place-based learning is having a voice and a choice. So when our student teachers were here last year, we did a project that went along with our science module, Ecosystem and Biospheres. So we got to choose what we wanted to study and make a presentation and an activity to do with the class. So for mine, I did pemmican, and I brought in some pemmican for the class to try. And then Carter, she was studying bison, and she brought in a bison hide to try for people to touch and stuff. And it was really fun to have a voice and a choice of what you're doing and how you're presenting it.
This is design thinking, so the first one that I'm gonna explain is the one where we build a boat. The only parameters, there's a lot of you had a lot of freedom for this. The only parameters was like the materials that you could use. So basically we made a boat, and we tried to design the boat so that we could fit as many pennies as we can on water. And yeah, this one was a cool one.
For our second project that we did, that included design thinking was our balloon cars. We had to design a car with a balloon on it that when you blow up the balloon and let it go, it would go forward. So all of our science things usually have an engineering challenge that we had to do, and that was just one of them. We were studying the movement of air. That's that one.
All right, and so as we bring it back to connecting with the district extension team, we were one of, I think, the first schools that jumped on board and said, yeah, we'll take you the first week, because we really felt that our kids could handle that and they knew how to do place-based. So we hit the ground running with the district extension team that first week of school. And we believe that because of the knowledge that our students have in place-based learning, they were excited and knowledgeable about the area the extension team took us to, and their ability to notice and wonder and really think critically about their surroundings is a product of what we've been doing the last 3 years. And I know a lot of people, the images out there that, you know, all we do is from projects, but these projects are very well thought out, and they do relate back into our curriculums. But I think the community impact project is what has really impacted our students the most, and these students have really learned how to get up and to talk about things and to present. I know that we are headed on the 20th, I do believe, to present our stuff to the state superintendent, the conference, school board, thing in Casper, so we're really excited about that. I know Stacy and I were talking, and we were looking at the district's strategic plan, and we believe that this is a huge part of that, especially goal number 1, where learning is meaningful and relevant to students. And what a better place to start than, with second graders clear through. And even our high school has jumped on board and are going with that. There's just a few more pictures of when we went with the extension team. And like in every one of these pictures, students are engaged, they are working together, it's just been great. Do you guys have any questions for me or for the students, more importantly? Mr. Martin?
Thank you. I have first a comment and then a question for the adults and a question for the students. Just the comment is that, like, I just go back to my own education in Rock Springs, and I remember, like, no one taught me that it was a cool place. And so I ended up not thinking that it was and leaving immediately. So I can't express how much I appreciate the whole, like, place-based learning and getting students involved in their surroundings. Just a question, so this started out, the whole place-based project at Rock River started out under the auspices of it was like a Teton Science School program, and now it's transitioning to the district-based extension thing, or have you all just, like, taken up the mantle and it's a Rock River thing now? I'm just curious how that evolved.
Well, so Teton Science, what do they call it? Their outreach program?
The place-based network school.
Place-based networking. They're the ones that kind of got it started. And it's something that we have kind of dabbled in, like, for at least, I don't know, probably the last 8-10 years on how can we take these curriculums and make them meaningful for us, because we're finding that kids, they don't grow up knowing their surroundings. They don't grow up, knowing the world around them. And so to take it from where we're at, to our loan project, which was a global thing. The one group was in the Himalayas, and they don't get to experience things like that. And so for them to do the research, I know the one group, they were panicked because they didn't have a fresh water source, and they spent 3 days in panic mode. And I did not step in. I'm like, you guys got to figure it out. What are you gonna do? And so for them to problem solve and figure out, okay, we are strong enough, we can move our camp. I think you had to go 50 miles. I think they had to go 50 miles in order to find their fresh water source. But so through Teton Science, we learned all of the components of what goes into high quality place-based and project-based learning. And I think without that, that's what we were missing, so it kind of brought the whole puzzle piece together.
Cool.